don't tell no lie. Good God, about me. Listen to me and I won't tell the truth. Woo, about you. Ow! What's up, guys? This is the gospel according to Mark with a C. He is I, and I am he. Just taking some time to tell you exactly what's on my mind. Thank you for joining me once again, my friends. I want to give a big old shout out to Gina Carano for knowing that James Brown quote. Don't tell no lies about me, and I won't tell the truth about you. Words to live by, baby. So listen, everyone's talking about this Gina Carano interview. It's finally dropped. The interview that she did with Ben Shapiro. And I want to give a big old shout out to Ben Shapiro. Ben Shapiro, I love the fact that you have your platform out there. You know, I've been watching Ben Shapiro for a long time. I mean, mostly for comedic purposes. I just love that voice of his. I'll listen to him argue anything. I mean, most of the time he's right, you know what I mean? But it's also icing on the cake that he's got that voice too, and that rapid fire delivery, you know what I mean? So yeah, so I'm familiar with Ben Shapiro, but big respect to Ben Shapiro for offering Gina Carano this outlet to tell her side of the story. Because one thing you pick up on very, very clearly, very early on in the interview, is that she needed this. She absolutely needed this. If you are plugged into humanity at all, then you can see that Gina's been going through it. You know, she looks great. She's holding up great. She looks strong. But man, look in her eyes. You know, listen to her voice at certain points. She's legitimately, she's hurt. You know what I mean? And I'm hurt for her. Anyone who has been disillusioned, you know what I mean? Like going into any type of business or any type of arrangement where you believed in what you were doing, only to have it turn around and find out that people who you thought were cool with you, you know, you thought the situation was one way and then find out that it's another. Disillusionment is like, it's an understatement about how you might be feeling. Like the level of betrayal, for example. Like, see, here's the thing that I get from Gina Carano. Watching this interview, she's just way too real for this industry, way too real for this industry, you know, and thus she has a sense of honor that she's been holding on to her whole life. Now, it's important to remember that she is a human being and she's still trying to figure all of this out. You know, the best of us are like that, you know, where we go through so many years of, you know, seeing what's out there in the world and stuff, and you don't know everything, but what you do know, you tend to hold on to, you know, and you want to believe in the good in the world. You know what I mean? So I kind of get the feeling that she's not the most experienced person as far as the way life can go and is, you know, how life can go bad. Like there's not always a happy ending, you know, to every situation. You know, you can have the best of intentions in the world and have the shit still fall apart all around you, you know, and I feel for her because who hasn't been there? The best of us, I'm talking about, the best of us want to believe that it's going to be okay, you know, and you want to believe that you can be the best that you can be and somehow it means something, you know, so you hold on to that. And her sense of honor has her finding out things that she was not prepared to find out, you know. So she's been a fighter her whole life. She's believed in justice. She's been anti-bullying. She's believed in standing up for people. And somehow, with a life dedicated to being that way in her own mind, in her own soul, it still managed to bring her to the point where people are saying the meanest things about her, you know, and they're swearing to it as well as she did. And she did a fantastic job coming across as a human being. She said everything right. If anyone watches this interview and still thinks that she is anti this or that she's racist or, you know, that she's insensitive to this or whatever, then that person has a major wound on their soul. You know what I mean? Like if you can watch a human being pour out their feelings the way that she was doing, and she tried to stay composed, you know, and like I said, I give her, you know, all the respect in the world because she did a fantastic job staying composed. You know, it's just that if you're just quiet and you watch her, you know, she's a woman, you know, she's a young woman. She hasn't seen the whole, like, world. I'm talking about humanity. I'm sure she's been places I've never been, you know, on this planet, you know, but I'm just saying, you know, as far as the human condition, you know, and the good and the bad, the really bad of humanity, This is clearly something that she's still struggling with, because she can say all the right things in the world, but still, she has a multi-billion-dollar company bearing witness to her being terrible. And that same company is holding on to her friends so tightly that they are afraid to speak out in defense of their own friends. But it says everything in the world to me that she won't speak out with all that she's seen and all that she knows to solidify her case, because she feels loyal to her friends. So she doesn't want to put her friends out there knowing things about them that they themselves are not brave enough to speak up about. She doesn't want to put them in a bad position, So that says a lot about her character as well. Let it be a dude like me. I fucking listen. It ain't just me, all right. That person over there, they went through it. That person over there is like, Mark, be quiet, be quiet. No, what did you tell me on the phone the other day, Rodney? What did you tell me? Did you not say that this and such happened? You know what I mean? And no, I like to think that I would be like, Gina. I mean, to a certain degree. You know what I mean? Like, you really don't want to throw your friends under the bus, even though, where are your friends now? What about your friends? Will they let you down? Will they be around? You know what I mean? Like, where they at, man? Where they at? Because let me tell you something. This industry is cutthroat. And I felt scared for Gina while she was saying all of this, because I know that this interview is being watched. You know what I mean? It's being watched by some very, very powerful people, who don't want this whole thing. They just want it to go away. They want her to go away. And cancel culture is the most despicable, most evil thing that there is. I remember years ago, before I knew what cancel culture was actually, before we designated cancel culture as cancel culture, I remember watching stories like Anna Nicole Smith, and you had a whole industry laughing at her, watching her die. Basically, they gave her her own reality show where clearly she was in distress. So the cameras kept rolling as she was going down, down, down. The same thing with Whitney Houston. I remember thinking, what the fuck is this? How are people making jokes about this on talk shows and award shows, and these people are in distress? They're clearly suffering, you know? And it was the same thing with, who was it? Britney Spears as well. I feel for Britney Spears. I really, really do. People should not do that when they know that people are out here and their life has become bigger than them. Their life has gotten away from them, and they're struggling and they're suffering. And somehow we managed to make a joke of it. Michael Jackson was another situation, and it gets very, very bizarre, when I see that. I'm like, I would never want to be in show business. I don't care how glamorous it looks or all the material possessions you might have. It's truly a show. It's smoke and mirrors. There's a price that you pay for that. And Gina Carano was talking about that, the selling of your soul, to sell who you are, when you sign on the dotted line. So here she is being demonized by Dizznee, LuKKasfilm. Like, she wasn't even clear where it's all coming from. You know what I mean? Like, where is the attack coming from? But she wants to give this message of hope, and that's what I'm talking about. For people who want to continue to torture her, and rake her reputation over the coals and stuff, you can't watch this shit and in good faith do that. You know what I mean? But that just shows you, what we're up against. All of us. So she's out there, like I said before, and I feel for her because I'm pretty sure she doesn't know exactly how bad this thing can get and how deep it can get, which is why I implore all of us to keep on talking about this. You know what I mean? People are taking criticisms, because their channels, everybody's talking about Gina Carano. It's about clicks. It's about clicks. And I'm sure in some cases it is, but the deeper thing here, for people who have morals, for people who have a moral compass, because that's what this is about. Gina said that she had never voted before. People wonder about her politics. They want to, condemn her for her politics. What politics? She's still trying to figure it all out. She says she never voted before. She's still trying to learn these things. You know what I mean? But like I said, there are people who are trying to define you before you can even define yourself. And that's the problem. They're trying to put you out there and demonize you in front of the whole world when all you're trying to do is figure this shit out, man. But the moral compass thing, That is more what she stands for. The ability to be able to ask questions, to be able to reason things out in your own mind, even if you're wrong from one moment to the next. At least you're the type of person who asks questions and is honest with yourself. Asking questions is just the beginning. It's when you start to get answers. That's when you become accountable in your life for the decisions that you make. Anybody can ask questions. Oh, I'm on a search for myself. I still haven't found what I'm looking for. Are you sure about that? Because every day you have experiences out here, and it is on all of us to be analytical. Why did I have that conversation? Why did I have that experience? What is life trying to show me? What's going on out here? Is this moving in a direction that is going to be okay? What's happening? To have the courage to see where the road is taking you, and having the courage to be able to course correct if you need to. Reality, the stories that people give you, the narrative is not set in stone. If you have a question and you feel like the answer is not working for you, well, then you might want to change your course. But you can't be afraid of the answers when you're asking questions. And I think that moral compass thing, I think that's what Gina Carano stands for. Everyone should have that. Everyone should be thinking about that. And that's where we stand. You know what I mean? So, all right, I'll call her back. I really want people to watch this interview. All right. Not because it's the bombshell that people think it is, because we all knew this is what Dizznee is up to. This is what LuKKasfilm is doing. This is what Hollywood is doing. They're looking to control thought and sensibilities. They're looking for us to condemn each other and to draw the lines. Why the fuck do you think everything is about black people need this and white people, are wrong and being white and everything and separating people? You know what I mean? Everybody thinks they have an axe to grind with each other. But it takes a lot of courage to say, I'm not playing this game. At the end of the day, we're born to live. We're born to actually have the experience of life, and to understand that all of us are in the pursuit of happiness. All of us, each of us, no matter how you feel about one another. Respect should come from that alone. So, like I said before, guys, I don't want this to go on too long. I'm going to leave the link to this interview in the description. So check it out when you have a chance and understand that Gina is not a superhero. She's a person who is courageous enough to say, this doesn't feel right and it shouldn't be this way. And she should not be allowed to stand alone, because that's how people are used to dealing with these things. You get one person, you put them out in the open, and you ostracize them. Saturday Night Live, making a joke out of her. You know what I mean? And that's what they do. I understand. I'm not saying they're wrong or right. It's a comedy show. But I'm just saying that's what tends to happen. It's like you take away their credibility by making them sound stupid and you mock them. Mockery. Comedy is one thing, but continued mockery is another thing. And nobody should be subjected to that in life, where you have to go through life just seeing your name dragged into the mud all the time and seeing lies told about you. And people are swearing that they know something about you that is not true. We all need to stand up in our minds and in our souls and have that moral compass, and not be afraid to tell the truth to others and especially to ourselves. So I applaud Gina Carano. I applaud all of her future endeavors. All right. And I pray for her. I pray for all of us, because there will come a time, whether it's you, whether it's your child or your grandchild, there will come a time when you will have to stand or you will have to sit for right or wrong. There will come a time. The stakes will be just that high. So it is something that you need to be straight with in your own mind. People are afraid. They're afraid, so they tell those lies. So Gina Carano, that quote from James Brown, and that's where I know it from. If somebody else said it first, then that's fine. James Brown said, "Don't tell no lies about me, and I won't tell the truth about you. But since you started this, there's only one truth." Okay? And we can't be afraid to recognize it and to know it and to be straight in our own minds, like I said. So respect to Gina Carano. you guys can get in the comment section. Don't be afraid. Once again, speak your mind. Let me know how you feel. You can have your opinions on why this is happening to her. You know, about her. Maybe she shouldn't have spoke out as much. I mean, I've said stuff like that before in the past as well. But like I said, once the game is afoot, baby, you got to play it. You know what I mean? And so far, so good, Gina. I applaud you. Please stick with your fandom, okay? Never feel like you're alone out here. All right, remember, we're here. And each of us are fighting this battle in our own way. Only the best of us do. So never feel like you're alone, Gina. Never feel like you're alone to all my viewers out there. It's not you. That's the reason why we're all here. All right, guys. So you can like, you can share, you can subscribe. As always, you can catch me on Twitter. I'll leave the link. You know, give me a follow. The link to that video will be in there also. All right. Thank you guys for rocking with me. I will catch you on the next one. This is The Gospel According to Mark with a C. Rock on.